Hi, welcome. This is our MRI project with the product Grey Goose. We are Stacy Bowie, David Peterson, Jamie Rem, and Masson Weaver. As for our focal brand, as discussed, it will be Grey Goose Vodka, a very popular brand in the United States, and we'll be comparing it to two of its biggest competitors, Smirnoff and Absolute Vodka. As for Grey Goose's top variables, it's age, household income, marital status, education, and race. How we calculate this is through calculating the spreads of each variable, and these had the largest spreads. As for age, we notice the biggest difference between their segment of young Americans between 18 and 24 and their oldest bracket, which were senior citizens. For household income, we notice that people that made over $150,000 a year were much more likely to buy Grey Goose than those that were in the low income brackets. For marital status, we notice that those that have never been married and those that are engaged were more likely to drink Grey Goose than those that were married or divorced, which could be a tie-in to the popularity with the younger age groups. As for race, we notice that Grey Goose was most popular with African Americans, least popular with Native Americans and Hispanics. As for education level, we notice that Grey Goose users were more likely to be highly educated with a college degree or more. As for our competitive brands, Smirnoff and Absolute, all three brands had similarities in the top 5 variables with age, all of which had a spread of over 100, marital status, and education. As for Absolute Vodka's top spreads, they shared many similarities with Grey Goose, but they differed with census region being one of their most important variables. As for Smirnoff, they being that they had women's ages and occupation being two of their highest variables.
Percentage down is a percentage of total consumers that uses a product or brand that belong in the same segment. In our focal brand, the highest percent of users in the race segment by far is the white demographic. Within the age segment, Grey Goose users are the highest in the 25 to 34-year-old age bracket. In the education segment, the largest amount of users graduated college or have continued with their education past college. The highest disparity is among household income, with users $75,000 to $149,000 making that much annually, with the largest percent down by far. Interestingly, users who are currently married have the highest percent down, followed closely by drinkers who have never been married. In comparing the percent down of our focal product and our competitors, the age segment of all three brands in the 25 to 34-year-old demographic are the highest. However, Grey Goose's percentage down is the highest compared to Absolute and Smirnoff users. Users with a household income of $75,000 to $149,000 annually have the highest percent down in all three brands. In addition, Grey Goose has the largest percent of users with a household income of $150,000 or more. 48.5% of Absolute drinkers are currently married, which is the highest in the marital status segment. However, there's also a high percent of Grey Goose users who have not been married compared to unmarried Absolute and Smirnoff drinkers. Race has the largest disparity among vodka drinkers, with the white demographic primarily consuming the most of all three brands. The highest percent of Smirnoff users in a long shot is the white demographic. However, Smirnoff has the smallest percentage of users who are American Indian or Alaskan Native. Grey Goose, on the other hand, has a relatively large percentage of users who are Black or African American.
In targeting demographics, the 18 to 20-year-old have the highest concentration of index usage across all vodka brands. Absolute, Grey Goose, and Smirnoff will all target the 18 to 24-year-old segment. And the household incomes for those making $20,000 a year or less are 16% more likely than the overall population to consume Smirnoff. For those making $50,000 to $999 a year, or 12% more likely than the overall population to drink Absolute. Lastly, those who are making $150,000 plus, or 85% more likely than the total population to drink Grey Goose. Smirnoff will target the lower household income, Absolute will target the middle household income, and Grey Goose will target the high household incomes. For education, Absolute will target the graduated college and plus. Both Grey Goose and Smirnoff will target those who attend college. The data concludes that Grey Goose's popularity grows with education.
One demographic that would be recommended for mass marketing for Grey Goose is to users ages 25 to 34 because that demographic prefers this brand 75% more than the others and a high percent down of 26% among Grey Goose users. Another demographic of Grey Goose users to target with mass marketing are users who have had an household income of $75,000 to $149,000 annually, because their index is 115 and a relatively high percent down of 32.4.
For mass marketing, we wanted to stick with the high usage index and high percentage down. For internet, we recommend gmail.com, amazon.com, mapquest.com, wikipedia.org, and maps.google.com. For print, we recommend People, Sports Illustrated, Cosmopolitan, US Weekly, and ESPN Magazine. For cable, we recommend E! Entertainment Television, Bravo, MTV, ESPN, and Comedy Central. For the niche marketing, we wanted to stay to the high index usage and medium percentage down by recommending the Asian and engaged segments.
For our recommendations, we decided to go with, for our TV channels, ESPN Classic, G4, MLB Network, Music Choice, and Style. For internet, ours were abcnews.com, cbs.com, Hotwire, Priceline, and TripAdvisor. For print, chose Ebony, which reflects our African American base, Food and Wine, which shows our popularity with alcohol consumers, as well as our male audience through Maxim, Playboy, and Rolling Stone. That concludes our presentation. Thank you very much.